XRP's floodgates could open within 21 days. Here's why. Number one, is this from the reference of the Federal Register website. In fact, it's federalregister.gov. It's this document released today, August 1st, 2025. As you see here, this is the Daily Journal of the United States government, and it's the notice. The notice highlights self-regulatory organizations, the NASDAQ, stock market, LLC, but SIBO, BZX Exchange, Inc., New York Stock Exchange, ARCA, and also granting accelerated approval of proposed rule changes, modified by amendments, and basically, like you see here, Bitcoin, Ether-based, commodity-based trust shares to permit in-kind creations and redemptions. Now, is this it? No, it's not. Because what's important here is if you were to go through it all, well, it gets really, really deep, right? Well, thank God for people like our brother in space, Smoke. He highlights this and he says, you heard it here first, as in from his ex. I'm sharing it with you guys on YouTube. XRP ETF decision could come within 21 days as SEC reviews new listing framework. And it's documented. What does he have? Well, it's this. As we take you over to this, like it mentions, generic listing standards for U.S. crypto ETFs. If adopted, these changes would allow eligible crypto ETFs to list without submitting individual 19B-4 forms, which currently trigger long SEC review periods. This move could significantly cut down the time and cost required to bring crypto ETFs to market. The SEC is currently reviewing a flood of crypto ETF applications, including those tied to, of course, Solana. And does it say XRP? It does. And even Doge and some other ones. The earliest decision on the new listing framework could come within 21 days. Now, some of you guys are getting tired of hearing all this talk about what's going to come, what hasn't come, buy the rumor, sell the BS, as some people have pointed out. Well, I want to get more into this and again why it's important to you. So, number one, I want to point out some key things here that I definitely feel as though are worth pointing out. And basically speaking, let's get into a little bit of this. The way I look at it is, it's the significance of it all. When we understand that basically we can streamline all this through an approval process, really opens up the curiosity of where we can really go with it. Currently, each crypto ETF, if you're not aware of it, proposal requires an individual 19B-4 form. That, of course, triggers a lengthy SEC review, as pointed out. But the proposed generic listing standards would allow eligible crypto ETFs to bypass this step. That's more than worth pointing out. This could reduce the time and cost to bring these products, of course, to market. And, of course, it's not just XRP, but the focus obviously is XRP. Remember how in the past I talked about the shift of the switch? Yeah, did those collaborations with Will. Will and I covered in the past at least 2 or 3 videos about what we called the shift of the switch. And in that, basically, it's getting into the whole thing of mentioning more favorable regulatory climate. So when we look at the documentation of it all, and you're more than welcome to nerd it out, it definitely suggests a potential for softening the SEC stance, possibly influenced by changes in leadership or, of course, policy. This could be a game changer specifically for XRP, given its history of legal battles with the SEC over the classification of it being a security. Now, there's a timeline for the decision, but whatever the case be, when we look more into it and consider everything we just saw, well, at the end of the day, it's all about that 21-day window that likely starts around early August, which we're into now because it's the first of the month. But this means a decision could be expected by late August, hence the 21 days. And you better believe there's a lot of enthusiasm and excitement around an XRP ETS decision. You may feel as though that we've heard XRP ETS for the longest time, but what makes this one stand out compared to all the other talk? Great question. Because at the end of the day, it's the inclusion of XRP among the highlighted assets. And yeah, you saw Solana, Doge, and others, BTC, and even Ethereum, but it signals everybody that XRP ETF could be a beneficiary of course, this framework. I don't think it's a matter of could. You saw the highlight of XRP from the document that Smoke basically shared that highlighted that specifically, and the citation I showed you from the Federal Register. So 2 receipts in that regard. So at the end of the day, why do we want to get more into it all? Well, it's comparing, contrasting all of it, basically, for me. The whole idea of explicitly mentioning XRP as part of the flood of ETF applications under review, don't you think that's going to reflect market anticipation? See, when I look more into it, I have come to the conclusion that the Federal Register order, when naming specific assets, does apply to commodity-based trust shares. That's something to consider. A category that would basically include XRP if it's deemed a commodity. And that, everybody, should be your aha moment. Because XRP being deemed as a commodity and going from the shift of where it was in the past as deemed as a security, that's going to be major moving forward. Because that means we have the clarity that we need, that this is no longer a speculative asset as it was once attacked by the SEC. If the generic standards are approved, an XRP ETF could move forward faster, and especially if the SEC acknowledges XRP futures trading history. So with that also said, I want you guys to understand what it means specifically for XRP. Basically, I came to this conclusion. If the generic listing standards are in fact adopted within these 21 days, you would see, for example, an XRP ETF that would bypass the traditional 240-day review. My goodness gracious, great balls of fire. That would potentially launch, of course, by late 2025 or even early 2026. And of course, it depends on certain criteria. But basically speaking, that's what's worth noting. That's what we should anticipate. Again, you could agree to disagree. But for me, an approved XRP ETF could boost its legitimacy, attract institutional investors, and enhance its use in cross-border payments, aligning, of course, with what? Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Ripple's original vision. Would we see on-demand liquidity flowing out of the floodgates? Well, draw your own conclusion about that. But basically speaking, in conclusion, I think whether it's what I showed you from the Federal Register or what Smoke basically showed you in regard to specifically XRP, the significance lies in this announcement of potential regulatory shortcuts for crypto ETFs, with, of course, XRP as a key beneficiary. If you compare that to the Federal Register document, it does provide a concise market-focused summary that aligns with the official proposal, emphasizing the 21-day decision window and XRP's inclusion. Ladies and gentlemen, this could mark a turning point for XRP's mainstream adoption. Isn't that what we want? Of course it is. So, at the end of the day, I keep saying at the end of the day, but it's where it's at. At the end of the day, we are looking where we go with it all. So, thanks again for tuning in. Thanks again for obviously supporting this channel. Hey, do me a solid if you listen to the entire outline and simply type in this key phrase into the comments, and that is at the end of the day, because I'll know that you listen to it all and it helps give me great feedback. Hey, thanks again so much for tuning in, everybody. I really, really mean it. May the Lord Jesus bless you all. We'll see you on the next one.
Waking up in the morning, gotta thank God. I don't know, but the day seems kinda hard. from the dog, no smog, and mama cooked the breakfast with no hog. I got my grub on but didn't dig out. Finally got a call from a girl I wanna dig out. Hooked it up for later as I hit the go, thinking will I live another 24? I gotta go cause I got me a drop top, and if I hit the switch I can make the ass drop. Had to stop at a red light, looking in my mirror, not a cop in sight, and everything is alright. I got a text from Kim, we can love all night. Called up the pals and I'm asking which park are you playing basketball? Got me on the court and I'm trouble. Last week played around and got a triple-double. Freaking fellas everywhere like MJ. Can't believe today was a good day. Today was a good day. Can't believe today was a good day. Today was a good day. Was a good day.
How would you like to earn an extra $100, $200, or even $500 a day, even more than that? I have many friends that are earning money every single day trading futures on BTCC. It's a simple process, and even if you don't want to learn how to trade, you could follow a trader on the site and let him do the trading for you. I'm currently following numbers, not feelings, so even if you don't know how to trade, there is a way to make money. But I suggest learn how to trade, earn you some extra money on BTCC. It's easy, you don't have to KYC, and you don't have to use a virtual private network VPN. This is a wonderful site. They've been around since 2011. Give them a shot. Also, when you earn that extra money, you can store that on your Decent wallet. The Decent wallet was not affected by the recent XRPL debacle, where the backdoor of many wallets was open and there was a breach. So Decent wallet was not affected by that. Decent wallet is as safe as you keep your seed phrase. It's a wonderful product, and you can get the discount by using the link. It's the only way to get the affiliate discount, and that is to use an affiliate link. So that link is popping up on the upper right side of your screen, and it is the one that you will use. You will also get free shipping. Pick you up a Decent wallet today. Secure your assets. If you don't have them stored in a wallet and sitting on an exchange, then you're at risk. So pick you one up today.